Much better, I think. Seems that way.
That's right.
Okay. I think we are ready. We got the green dots up there. Talk for a minute.
Yep. Testing.
Okay.
We on?
Yep. We're just getting our audio. So, okay.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God,
indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
Guns, self-defense, conceal carry. This is the Patriot Defense Podcast. From the War Room in Idaho's high desert, here's your host, Todd Echols.
And we are back once again into Saturday evening, and we are tucked away in the war room somewhere in the high desert of southern Idaho. And joining me tonight is, we don't have a name for you.
That's right.
Can we use your first name?
Go for it.
Your given name?
My given name.
Levi. Levi is joining us all the way down from the great state of Utah. I don't like that state, by the way.
Yeah, it's okay. It's still not as good as Idaho.
It's still not as good as Idaho. So you're down there visiting families. You have a good Christmas.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, it was great.
Did you make out like a bandit?
Well, it was the big gift card exchange.
Oh, there you go.
Kind of how it works anymore for us.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good. Santa made an appearance.
That's good. That's fantastic. Came down a little early today because we were sighting in or test shooting some guns, and then you've got do you mind if I tell everyone where you're
Go.
your whole trip venue here?
Yeah.
You're headed up to help your dad on an elk hunt?
Yep, up around salmon archery.
Looking for the cow elk?
It's actually either
either
bull or cow. Yeah.
That should be simple, right?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, should be good.
But it's good to have you here, by the way. I'm glad you can make it down.
Yeah.
You've been on one other episode, and it was good. It was a good episode. And you actually listened to it.
I did.
Most people do their podcast, and then they don't like to listen to them later on.
Yeah, because you're like, well, I was there. I don't need to listen to it. But I thought, I should go and...
Did you share the last one with family and friends?
I did. I told a few people. There's some people that would probably not normally listen to firearms
really
podcast.
Did they listen to it?
They did.
Did they like it?
Yeah, I had some questions after.
They
were asking, like, what do all these things mean, and what were you guys talking about? So yeah, it was good.
That's good. Maybe we got some new subscribers.
Maybe.
That'd be sweet. That'd be awesome. But yeah, thanks for coming down and helping me out today. And thanks for coming down early. And we had Jillian. Jillian. I don't know how she says that.
Yeah.
We're gonna call her Jillian. That's what I call her. Jillian.
And now
Whatever.
You got me all mixed up. But
Jillian came down and she wanted to shoot that. The last podcast she was on, I talked about an XDM 10 millimeter.
Yep.
And this, Springfield Armory gun, and I was talking about it, and she's decided that she's taking a liking to it, and she wanted to make it over to the store and purchase it before me.
Yeah.
And she went and looked at it and found one that she liked, and she shot our mutual friend Henry. She shot his SIG Emperor Scorpion in 10 mil. And so she was a little unsure. She doesn't mind the caliber, but she's a little unsure how the recoil would be in a polymer frame. And so you have one.
Yep.
And it has that fancy red dot on it.
Yep.
Came down and we shot it. And both me and her have decided it actually has less felt recoil than that 1911, which
is surprising, where you'd think a steel framed gun would be better, but yeah,
I don't know if it's because the XDM has the thicker grips on it, or maybe it just plants itself on the hand better. I don't know what the deal is, but she liked it better. I liked it better. But so you bought that gun for a specific purpose, right?
Yeah, I went up to Alaska 2 summers ago to go fishing, and so we were just fishing right off the riverbanks,
right?
And so I ended up getting a chest harness or a chest holster to wear. So Kenai gun. I think it's a gunfighter is what it's called.
Yeah.
So it's right there under your waders, but still pretty accessible.
Sure.
So I got that, and then got these really hopped up, like solid copper core, ammo that's made specifically, kind of for bear.
Right.
And so obviously 10 millimeter isn't the best solution, but
it's not a bad one.
Yeah, it's either that or going to a revolver, going to something big, and the Magnum, 44 up to like your 460 Casuls, all that stuff.
Sure.
So, but I'm like, I didn't really want to, because one, those those revolvers are really expensive.
Oh yeah.
And so I'm like, I don't really want to go buy something like that I'll never really shoot. So I thought, well, I'll grab this Springfield 10 millimeter, and it's similar because that's what I also shoot for. I do a little bit of competition stuff with,
right.
So I have the same XDM in a 9, and I have it in 40 as well.
The controls are all the same and everything.
So it's very familiar to me.
As far as bear's concerned, though, I mean, one of those big revolver calibers would always be better, but that 10 mil is not bad.
Well, and it's you always have to balance. Do you want to have 6? You shoot once, and then that those follow-up shots are going to be hard if you can get them.
Right.
But with having what, I don't even know what that mag capacity is, like 14 or something.
It's got to be 14, 15,
somewhere in there. So having a lot more rounds definitely is a little more comforting.
Well, and a lot of times too, it's about shot placement.
Yep.
So
and I think you're going to be more accurate with that than some big hand cannon.
Yeah, no, I think so. And do you have, what kind of red dot you got on top of that thing?
So I have a Leopold Delta Point Pro.
Okay, and so you'd shot it before your Alaska trip.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't have to fend off any bears with it in Alaska.
Nope, we didn't. I was shocked when we were in Alaska. We didn't hardly see anything but fish.
Well, they heard you had the 10 mil.
I guess so. They were scared off. Not even a deer.
The gunfighter holster, man.
Yeah, it's pretty intimidating.
There you go. So you came down during the summer and we shot it a little bit.
Yeah.
And we took it out today, and the red dot's out of whack.
Yeah, something's weird. It's you guys were both shooting high and right.
Yeah.
And I was like all over the place. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to go and spend some time and figure out what's going on. So yeah, but it's just been sitting in the gun safe.
That's weird.
I'm not sure what's going on.
Huh, I don't know. I was shooting it and I was like, looking, I was like, I was consistently off, right?
Yeah.
But I was in the same small little group, and I'm like,
you're stacking them right on top of each other.
How do I tell Levi I think something's wrong with this? Something's up, man. I don't know what.
Yeah, it's interesting because that's definitely one of the high quality red dots. And
yeah.
So, I'll have to go play with it and see. I mean, that's the one drawback with anything electronic. It's like, there's you could have issues.
Well, that gun just set and something happened. I mean, you just don't know. You don't know what. I physically don't think the sight was loose.
Yeah, I don't,
because it didn't seem loose. Now I've helped someone dial one in before, and we were chasing the dot, and I looked down and I realized you need to tighten this thing up, dude. But I don't know. We were just chasing that red dot all the way around, and you were cranking on it. We were trying to move it. It wouldn't move much.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I'll go play with it and see what's going on.
Right. That's my COVID cough.
That's right.
No, I got a little bit of cold weather asthma type stuff, and so that constantly, and it's kind of cooling off out there tonight.
It's chilly.
So I'm still on the hunt for my adapter plate for my VP9. I out there shooting your red. I so badly want to get my red dot mounted. I mean, I've got this gun that I refuse to shoot because I'm going to refuse to shoot it until I get the red dot, because I essentially have a better version of that gun already.
Yeah.
So why go back to the crappy trigger?
Yeah.
It makes no sense to me, right? So I read online that there's some manufacturing things going on, and they're supposed to maybe be having a new version of that in January. So I'll tell you what, January 1st, I'm online and I'm going to be looking. But I did have a friend of mine actually say that he's got a whole bunch, not for the VP9 necessarily. He's like, Todd, I got a pile of adapter plates. And he's like, just come on over. Maybe we can
Frankenstein.
Yeah, we can find one. Because I got a grinder and a drill. Let's see what we can come up with. So I don't know. We might go that route and see what happens. I don't know if that's a good idea or a bad idea, but
I'm not sure how your rear sight is. Sometimes too, you can press those out and they can slide one in like a dovetail.
I don't like those because it sits too high and it looks funny.
Yeah, I mean, that's if you were desperate.
If I was desperate, but yeah, no, I've many people have told me that. I'm like, I just can't do it.
Or if just those neighbors to the north would turn loose with some.
Oh my gosh. So I've told people this too. I go online. I look for small pistol primers every day. I found a ton of small pistol primers, and I always go to order them. And I get everything. I'm like, yes, I found this. Is like the unicorn. I found it. and I'm ordering, and it goes down, and you got to list, like what state you're in, and all it gives me is Canadian provinces. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Really? And so I was doing the same thing, and I've looked for weeks and weeks, like almost every day, for one of these plates. And I found one, a place that had 3 of them. I'm like, what the hell? 3 plates? This is like awesome. Well, they were in Canada. It was in Canada. So I didn't get my plate. They won't even ship a little piece of metal across. I mean, so do I have any listeners in Canada and anyone coming down visiting anytime soon?
That's right.
Is that legal? I don't know.
That's right. If you want to go to jail for a little piece of metal.
It's a little piece of metal to put a red dot on.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous.
Oh my gosh. And if you're coming down, bring me that and some small pistol primers.
There you go.
I don't think you'd make it through small pistol primers, but it's where they float them down, put them in a jar.
Yeah.
Float them down
drone them over.
That's right. Send them across the sound or something.
Yeah.
Oh, one of these days I'll get that. And so I've sat down and I've been planning out my summer. I started out going to plan out classes I was going to provide through Patriot Defense, and I ended up signing up for classes for me.
Yeah, there you go.
So I'm on my way in February. I'm on my way to get USCCA instructor certified. I did that. I signed up for that last Sunday. So looking forward to that. It's just kind of going to be another basic. This is how you run a class.
Yeah.
Like 50 rounds is all I have to take. So it's not really, it's a class to get certified. It's not really like a training class, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Not like a run and gun type of class by any means. I guess it's just me, but I think everyone should do everything the way I do it. Okay. And so I'm sitting down, I'm in the let's find a class mode, and I'm on the computer. Oh, banging my mic there. I'm on the computer and I'm just typing away, and I'm on my phone at the same time. And I think I'm watching Netflix. I'm just multitasking. I might've been reloading with the left hand. I'm not sure, but I'm looking up classes, and I found some classes that I wanted to take. I like to appendix carry, and there's a guy out there he's pretty top notch appendix carry guy. And so I thought, let's take a class from him, right? He's the guy that actually made my holster. Other holster guys listening, sorry. He's the guy that made the expensive holster that I bought, right?
Yeah.
And keeper's concealment.
Okay.
And so I was like, I'll sign up for a class for him. They don't have any classes listed for the new year yet. And I don't know if that's due to COVID. I don't know what that's due to, but I'm going around looking at other instructors. I'm like, I can't hardly find any classes. And I'm like, get your crap together. I'm ready to spend some money.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to sign up for one of this guy's classes, and I sent him a Facebook message because it was right there, right on his Facebook, not his personal Facebook page, but his business Facebook page. I'm not going to go to his personal page. I'm not going to do that. You would have thought I got a response, right? I was real nice. I said, hey, can you just let me know when you think you might have your schedule out, so I know when to keep an eye, because I want to sign up for maybe a couple of your classes. Is that nice enough? Right?
Yeah.
I didn't say, what the hell, where's your class list?
Yeah.
I mean, nothing like that. I got nothing, no response. It's been a week.
Yeah. I found, actually, I don't know what it is about it's kind of a firearms thing. I don't know if a lot of people are doing things on the side,
right,
or if it's not their full-time gig, but sometimes it feels like you have to beg people to take your money because you're like, hey, I want this product, and you have a question, or you need to discuss a few options with them.
Yeah.
And you go and you ping them, and after a few times you're like, okay, it's getting a little weird. I feel like I'm stalking someone, so I think I'll go find another option.
I was feeling really, really good last weekend, and I was it's going to be a good year. Todd's going to go take some training classes, and I could not get anyone to take my money.
Yep.
And I'm like, okay, well, it's going to be spent on something else. I mean, it's just.
I think the COVID's definitely
impacting.
I think so many people probably set up their whole calendars and then had to just cancel and delay and reschedule. So they're probably waiting to see how things are kind of playing out. But January's a couple days away, so
yeah, we'll see. I'll keep checking. I'll keep out tomorrow. That's usually I do it Sunday morning. I still get up really early in the morning, and I'll probably head out here about 4:00 and have my oatmeal, turn the heat on. I'll pop on Netflix or Hulu or YouTube video, And then while that's playing, that's when I start thinking and reloading and doing. I live a weird life, man. This is kind of what I do in the mornings, at least on the days I'm not at the gym. Usually that's weekend days.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to, something else. And we had a kind of a list of stuff to talk about here, Levi. And of course, when I start to talk, I start to think about also other stuff that's happened during the week. But I kind of I don't know how to explain this. And this might sound real funny. And you can tell me, you're pretty good at deciphering maybe what I mean. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, and I think we talked about this on the phone, but I'm looking around. I'm looking. I just need to go take some other classes, right? Some more like continuing education classes. I have no problem doing that, and I don't necessarily want to take a bunch of continuing education like local. There's guys that I can go get it from, and there's nothing wrong with them. But I'm not gonna. That's competition. Taking a class from competition. I'm not gonna go do that. I'm gonna go somewhere else. It just keeps everyone okay with. Does that make sense? Yeah. Everyone's still happy with each other, and.
Yep.
They won't say, I won't go to them and say, man, I can't believe they did this in their class. And they're going to look at me and say, how come you're an instructor? How come you're taking a class from me, the competition? I want to stay away from that. And if you get hot in here, we can turn that heat down, by the way.
Okay.
But I'm looking around and I'm poking around and I'm Googling stuff, and I'm willing to go across the country and take some classes, right? I'm sure I need to go find some specialty type classes. I'm not talking rifle, like appendix carrier, maybe help fine tune me with a red dot or something like that. I don't know, because I won't say I'm good at everything, because I'm definitely not. But a lot of the classes I'm finding is like the classes I already teach, right? And I'm not saying I'm great at that, because I could always be better, but I want something different. But everything, am I going to go all the way to Oklahoma to take a class from Joe, who might be just like me? Does that make sense?
No, yeah.
How do you know who's top of the? Because you go and you spend your money. You want to maybe take one. I won't say top tier, but you want to take cream of the crop. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But there's thousands of guys like me.
Yeah.
That are on there. I don't want to go take a class from Joe, but I can't find anything else.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
does that make sense?
I think a lot of it's just word of mouth. If you can find some other people that have taken classes with them, and you look at their reviews and things. And
I don't have any friends, Levi.
Oh,
I have you, and I have Tarver, and I have Mark.
Yeah. Well, I can hook you up. There's there's one in Southern Utah that's really good.
Yeah, that's right. You do go to some place. Yeah. Shout them out. I don't care.
It's a TPC, Tactical Performance Center.
Okay.
That's where I've taken a one handgun and then one PCC, or pistol caliber carbine.
Right.
And they definitely are a little more geared towards competition stuff, but that handgun, it's called the handgun mastery class. So it's kind of their intro handgun
You've
class.
talked to me about this before.
And that was amazing.
Right.
Going from just, hey, you grew up, around guns and you just go shoot, a few times a year, to going, and they start, from the ground up, like, hey, this is how you hold the gun. This is how the sights work. This is how everything works. And they kind of build you up. And it's a 3-day thing.
Oh, yeah. So they do that through through the entire class, which is 3 days.
Correct.
How many rounds did you fire?
Ooh, it was probably a little over 1,000.
Okay.
And so over 3 days, which I've actually shot. I did one years and years ago. It was supposed to be a group class.
Yeah.
This was probably like 10 years ago. And everyone else backed out except for me. And when I showed up, it was just me and the instructor, and we shot 1,200 rounds in one day.
Wow. Did he say
40 cal?
And was it a 3-day class?
No, it was a 1-day thing, but I thought there was going to be 4 other guys.
And you pumped it through 40 cal?
Of a compact 40.
Ouch.
Yeah, it was but it's amazing though, when you shoot a lot of rounds, what you like, how you shoot at the start of the day versus the end.
Oh, yeah.
You make a huge, increase.
Sure.
But then you don't go shoot very much, and it just kind of, it expires.
It filters. Yeah. It kind of just filters away. Yeah.
Yep. So if you're not constantly out, making sure you're shooting a lot, you
Gotcha.
lose it. Yeah. So yeah, they're good. And there's another company in Utah.
Don't tap on that.
Yeah. There's another company in Utah that brings in some of the best instructors from around the country.
Gotcha.
And then they just, they'll just organize, and then they get, a group of, 15, 20, 30 people.
Yeah. So I've taken some Masad Ayub classes before. Those were good. I've taken like the Mag 40 class, and now I went down to Kansas and did that one. That was a week-long class. That was a good class. It was a great class. I might have to holler at you and maybe go check that pistol class out. I don't mind starting at the beginning, right? I don't mind doing that, but I mean, I don't want to sign up for a beginner's class.
Well, yeah,
and where I'm just like bang, 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 yeah, bang, okay, I mean, I need more. I want more than that.
Yeah,
does that make sense?
Well, and it was interesting because there was a lot of guys that were in the class that were really good.
Yeah,
and they were taking it again,
right?
Because they're just like, you go through the first time, you're learning a lot of things.
Sure.
So you go through the second time, now you're really concentrating on stuff that you didn't even.
Well,
realize.
your brain will kick some of that stuff out. Yeah. So you're gonna fill in the blanks, right? You're gonna retain some, and then you go back again. So how much was a class like that for 3 days?
I think it was in the $600 to $700 range.
That's not bad.
And then with these guys, if you take a class and then you go back again, they give you a pretty good discount once you take your repeat student, I guess. You call it. Yeah, because then it gets it down to around, maybe in the $500 range, which, at first you're thinking, holy moly, that's a lot of money. But when you go and do it, you're like, okay, these people are professionals. They really know what they're doing.
Yeah. Were you like drawn from holster and all that, or?
Yeah, we would draw from holster, but it was all more, it was all outside the waistband type competition type holsters, not
gotcha.
like a.
Well, really, that will carry over too, because all you got to do now. So I appendix carry, so I'd have to move the holster over. But really, you're just so when you're drawing from outside the waistband, you're bringing your weak hand up here, as I do it. You're bringing that weak hand up to your chest anyway.
Yeah.
The only difference is now you're grabbing and moving that cover garment.
And I'm sure if you want to do your appendix holster,
some places don't allow that.
That's true. You'd have to find out.
Yeah, some places don't allow that. So I mean, I'd play by the rules. I'm not gonna,
Yeah. What's interesting too is this company, someone, and I don't know how all the marketing thing worked, but they had someone who they partnered with, and they put that entire class online, and it's not cheap. I think it's like $700. You can buy it, a multiple day class, and you just do it all. It's
at home.
Yeah.
Really?
So it's a completely online.
That exact class.
Yeah. And so, but I mean, it's different because you don't have someone right there to correct you.
Yeah.
But I saw it. I was like,
interesting. That's interesting though.
Not cheap, but
I bet you they sell the piss out of it though.
Well, and I'm thinking, it's another instructor could go, take, buy that, and then take all their
yes, he could
deep dark secrets away.
Yes, he could.
So
I'll be Googling that later on.
Yeah, and they have a bunch of their stuff online already.
Yeah,
I think they just had someone sit down and professionally do it.
So here's the thing with that is and when I talk about it's all the same, a lot of it is the same, right? I mean, a lot of it depends on the difference is the instructors. You're going to learn, you're going to learn to draw stroke. You're going to learn this. Now there's going to be some different ways of doing things. I mean, I get that. Not everyone's the same, right? You go take multiple classes from different people and it's more tools in your toolbox. Joe instructor right here might explain it one way and you kind of understand it, but not really. And you go over here and see Gary 3 months later and he might explain the same thing, but explain it a different way. And you're like, oh, I get it now. That makes sense to me. It clicks. And so a lot of the information is the same, right? Mm-hmm. No one except for Voda has come up with Voda. And I say that and we laugh. If you don't know who Voda is, listen to some past podcasts or look up Voda Inc. He was shooting porns last time I checked, but that's actually true. He actually got into.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. Anyhow, he had some different out of the box training techniques, right? Self-defense techniques, but most of it, everything's going to be the same. And so that's why I was like looking online. I was like, do I want to go over here? Do I want to take this guy? Do I want to take this guy? Because if you look at their comments, everyone loves them. Somebody loves them. Somebody loves this guy. Somebody loves this guy. It's like, where do I go spend my money at? And if this guy is $700 and this guy's $500 and this guy's $400, is this guy just really, really reasonable?
Yeah.
Or am I missing out for $200? I mean, I don't know. It's
hard. It's hard to know, but I think a lot of it's just, spending time and getting out there and doing it. But
so I think you need to come and take that class with me. Would you be up for it?
Yeah, I'd probably do it again.
Cause I'd come do it.
Yeah.
You can see how bad I really am, Levi.
Well, and they just got their, they're out of St. George, but there's a huge range down there that they essentially demolished and redid.
Oh, wow.
And so they've been doing that over the last, I would say, year and a half. And so I
Right.
think it's now back up and running, because I
Okay.
actually had to go down into Nevada to do it. It's just over the border. There's a Mesquite, Nevada. They have a range there.
Oh, okay.
And so that's where we had to go.
Is it hot?
I did it. I can't remember what time of the year I did it. I think it was in kind of the late fall, and yeah, it wasn't.
I'm telling you. Well, we need to talk after this, because I will go to that. If you're willing, and we look it up and we come up with something, I will go to that. That'll be my training class for the year. I need to start doing that more, because I've had my real estate license in the past years, and there's always continuing education.
Yeah.
You get busy, right? I'm essentially the only employee.
Yep.
And so when I take time off, that cuts into everything else, and you know how it is. But I need to start doing some more continuing ed. They sent me numerous times throughout the year to learn how to kill bugs at my last job. So I probably should take some kind of shooting courses.
Practice what you preach, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Look at that. You're making me feel guilty now.
There you go. That's what I'm here for.
Train. So we'll look into that, and we'll have to report back. Maybe I'll do I wonder if they talk on the podcast. Maybe.
Yeah. You could check them out.
So another thing we're talking about doing, and actually when I had you on last time, we talked to Tiger. Of Tiger's, zombie running gun, or whatever he calls it, right? And he's been trying to get me to go down there for the last 4 years. And I've always had a race or something. I couldn't do it. And I actually have a 100-miler that I think is still scheduled for around then. And I'm kind of over that now. And I'm really, every day I'm a little closer just to say, I'm done. I'm not going to do that 100-miler, keep my money. I paid for that thing 2 years ago. I don't even care anymore. And I think we're talking about teaming up, going down there. Tiger, if he's listening, he's going to say, I've heard this before, Todd.
That's right.
But we were talking strategy earlier.
Yep.
And the big problem I have is I think I can carry some gear, and I think I can go the distance, right? And I probably should be. I can probably hold my own. I'm not saying I'm going to be the best of the best. I can hold my own with the handgun, I think. That rifle has me worried, because I should kill my deer, man. That's all I do with the rifle. The last time I picked up a rifle to shoot, besides deer hunting, was your pistol carbine.
Yeah.
I'm serious. I do not do anything rifle. I just don't do it.
But I mean, I think it's, the trigger's similar, right? You can pull a trigger on a pistol well, then it'll go over to a rifle. And, in some ways, close distance, a rifle should be easier because you have more points of contact. You can control it a little better. It's, and then it's when the targets start getting far, but most of those don't have a lot of those. But with your, within 100 yards, it's pretty much point and shoot, if you have a red dot on there. So
hoping we've got us a little strategy figured out. So you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Getting your run on.
That's right. You're gonna have to drag me along, because I think this will be more like a hiking.
Then that's
what is it? A hiking gun.
A hiking. So you doing your battle ropes and stuff? You getting all ready?
That's right. Climbing ropes.
You're no, Todd. It's the holidays.
Somersaults with the AR. All that good stuff.
All that good stuff. So no, I think this will be fun. We just have to figure out how we're going to get down there, because with everything that's going on in this world today, if they start requiring vaccinations to fly, dude, I'm walking. Anyhow,
I'll fly and you can drive.
So we might have to, actually. You're all about the flying, aren't you? Just get there, there quick.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually not that bad of a drive, but it's a Missouri, right? So
I'll pay for all your fuel.
Oh, okay.
It's just we'll figure something out. It's just a hassle flying with the guns. And
I've only done it once, and it's not too big of a deal, but it's a whole, it's a definitely,
they won't let me on. I got the COVID.
Flying out of
you're shut up.
Flying out of Idaho and stuff isn't too bad, though. They're used to it, but as long as you've got gun friendly states where you're going and coming from. But you have to be careful though too. I've heard some crazy stories where people are flying, their flight gets diverted, all of a sudden they're a felon because where their plane landed. Yeah. So
do you want to risk that? Do you truly want to risk that?
I like to take risks.
I don't. I'd rather drive.
Oh, okay.
We'll figure that out.
Yeah,
we'll figure that out.
It's a ways out.
I think it'll be fun to. I think it'll be fun to go down there. Take the podcast equipment. And, he said we could run it a day early.
Like kind of the RO.
Yeah.
Match the range.
He promised. You heard him. I've got it recorded somewhere.
Yeah, that's right. I remember it.
I'll replay it for him and say, you must comply.
That's right.
So we can go down there. We can dirt bag it with a tent or something. What do you think?
It's all good. Whatever.
Okay. I'm old. I don't sleep in tents well.
Yeah. I think he said the nearest lodging is about 40 minutes away. So
that ain't bad.
Yeah. No, that's not a big
deal. We'll figure that. Well, no one else wants to hear our travel details.
That's right.
I sleep with a teddy bear. So just be aware. I'm kidding.
Sweet.
So what's going on with the ATF? Everyone was all hubbub. ATF this, ATF that.
Yep. I don't know. So they
recanted.
Yep. They decided they were going to tell you the truth. I mean, I was having a hard time following what they were doing because, that at one time, they said, okay, you can have a pistol brace. And I don't know if we should explain even what that is. So
we've talked about it before, but you sound like it's a rifle thing. You probably know more about it than me. I'll be straight up honest with you.
So, I mean, it's an interesting kind of interpretation. So to have and most of the time they're an AR-15s, but any rifle, if you're, and someone will probably be yelling at me because I'm not saying all this right, but if the barrel is under 16 inches, then it's considered a short barreled rifle.
Right.
And then then it falls under the Firearms Act, and you have to get a special permission from the government to own one. So you can still go get one, but you have to pay a $200 tax stamp. So you actually get a stamp from the government that says now you're able to take possession of this gun that you own, because you have to buy it before you can even get the stamp.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah. And so if you buy a short-barreled rifle from a gun dealer, then they hold it until you get your paperwork.
You can go pet it every now and then.
That's right.
And some of them, if they take it out and you go with them, you could shoot it.
Yep. They can go to the range with you and you could shoot your own gun, which is nice. And then, so you go through all that, and then it's
a custody battle.
Yeah. It's the same with getting like a suppressor or a full auto rifle. But so the rule was that you couldn't have a rifle barrel under 16 inches. So then pistols kind of hit the scene where you could have it's essentially, that's what it's called. It's a pistol. You're shooting a rifle one-handed. So they made they're called braces.
Pistol braces.
Yeah. So it's they can actually go around your forearm, and they have an elastic, like Velcro type device. And I'm sure there's different kinds.
They were actually made for like wounded vets.
Yeah.
So they could still shoot one. Yeah.
Yep. Exactly. So that they could do that. And then normally too, because you're shooting it one-handed, they bring the barrel a lot, they made it a lot shorter. So it could be anywhere from, 5-6 inches up through, 10. 10's a pretty popular length, because the ballistics are good from about 10 out.
Mm-hmm.
And so they had all these options. So they said, okay, yeah, you can do it. Then they become super popular. Millions of them were sold. And then the ATF decided, hey, we want to change our opinion. But then they wouldn't give any concrete explanations of what they wanted to do. From what I heard, that they just didn't like them, but they weren't going to tell you these are the specifications. They're going to leave it very gray so that they can just do whatever they want.
Yeah.
And so they got a huge response, and it was actually interesting, because I was going to log on and they'd opened it up for comments.
Yes.
And so I was actually getting on to make a comment, but I was like, well, I want to kind of know exactly what I'm going to say and in the specifics. And then later that day, they backed off. They said, yeah, we're pulling this.
So I heard that, the GOA, the Gun Owners of America, the head of the Gun Owners of America, got out there and he called them out. And he called President Trump out, actually.
Yeah, exactly.
And he said, President Trump, you need to do something. You need to shake this up. You need to fire someone. You can do this. You honestly can do something. Whether it'll stick or not, if you're out of here, probably not. It's just everything's gonna go back to the way it was. But you need to do something for us, right? Something for the Second Amendment. Now, I don't know if that had anything to do with it. I thought I read an article that said that Trump had, had to cough there, that Trump actually had said something or done something, and maybe that's why they backed off. I don't know. I don't know that for a fact, but it's just kind of weird. One day they were there and one day they backed off. Now, they are also at the same time, or just before they started chasing these braces again, they were going after the 80%, like
polymer 80s,
the polymer 80 like build kits, and it was essentially a kit that you actually had a polymer 80 lower, which is non-serialized, that they gave you everything you needed to finish that, and the rest of the kit had the upper, the barrel, everything you needed, right? And you could buy these kits. And so they're still going after those. I don't think they've backed off on those at all. I mean, from what I can tell.
Yeah. I think they're not real happy about those.
Well, I heard that there was, when they first came out with those kits, I don't know how much they were selling for, but I heard that some guy came in and bought like 20,000 of them.
Whoa.
Yeah, you can't tell me that he's not doing maybe something shady, right?
Yeah.
So they did the same thing with the high capacity mags, and they have what they call it was a mag repair kit.
Yep.
And they sold the body, the spring, the follower, the base, and they sold them all. It was all taken apart, and they had them in a big bag. This is what you need to buy. It says your mag repair kit.
Yep. As long as you assembled it, it was good to go.
It was good to go, or at least that was the loophole.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, it's hard. I mean, I'm someone that I can sympathize with other people's views, and I see what they're trying to do, but from my side, it's like, it's Second Amendment, it's in the Constitution,
right?
It's like, well, what restrictions are we going to put on the First Amendment?
Right?
Religion, speech.
Well,
there's all kinds of things, and so it's there for a reason, and people are trying to they don't like it, so they want to change it, and especially when you get into these things like the ATF, it's not an elected body. We didn't vote for those people.
Yeah, how can they jump in there and make our laws?
Yep. And so that's where that's what a lot of people are saying is like, this needs to go through Congress,
right?
And personally, I feel like if they, a lot of these things they do would be unconstitutional, and lately you're seeing these things go to the courts, and most of the time it's being found in favor of gun rights,
right?
That they're putting restrictions, and that doesn't really play with the Constitution.
I think it's only going to get worse too.
Yeah,
it's fixing to get bad.
Yeah, but you also are seeing a lot of times when these things are challenged, the ATF and some of these other bodies that are pushing it, or just people making lawsuits, they're backing off because they're finding that when it goes to the court's supposed to follow the law, right?
Right.
And they're finding in favor of the Constitution, and so they don't want them to go to court, because then it creates precedent, and it actually is backfiring on them. So they'll try to use executive orders, other ways to get around it.
Around doing it, yeah.
Yeah. So,
and I think too that hopefully it was a kind of an eye opener too, that there was so many excuse me, there's so many new gun owners now. There's like 7 million new gun owners over the last year, and a good portion of them, or there was, I don't know how good of a portion, but there was a portion of them that were Democrats, right?
Yeah.
That were people that were against guns, that thought, man, this is what's happening. There's riots in the streets. They're burning down cities. So I need to be able to protect myself. And we talked about this numerous times. I feel like a lot of this is repeat, but they went to purchase firearms, and they found out that they can't have a firearm just shipped to their house off the internet. And they still got firearms, and they went and bought them the right way, but they realized that they had to jump through all these loopholes, all these hoops and everything, and they had to do it the right way. And so I'm hoping that has drawn a bunch of more people over to our side that are now firearm friendly, or they realize that they've been lied to.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we'll see what happens, but
yeah, you hear a lot of things, when you're more educated on how everything works, and you hear, what's said in the news and in the media, you just have a huge eye roll, because they say things and you're like, they're playing on emotion and just people's ignorance, that they don't know how it really works. And so, it's good to see more people, coming in, and, and I think, 2020 has been a crazy year.
Oh yeah.
People realize that, I'm the first responder. I have to take care of myself. And so they decided maybe I should, have that capacity to do it myself.
Well, and especially we've talked in the past, you and me, that there was some of those places where those riots were, right, where all that stuff was going down. that you were telling me about a video or something you saw, a video series, I think, but there was someone who lived there, right? And they were saying that the law enforcement said, you're on your own.
Yep.
You called, you're on your, we're not coming in there.
Yep.
You are on your own. And pretty much they didn't maybe come out and say, do what you have to do, but they just said, you're on your own. Take care of yourself.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you want to go see it, it's JP Enterprises. They're a pretty high-end rifle manufacturer.
They make awesome guns.
Yeah, they're
and
pretty.
Todd wants one,
Yeah.
but he can't come up with the $2,000.
Yeah, exactly. They're very high-end, but one of their employees who is worked there at JP for years. He lives in Minneapolis.
Yeah,
and so when a lot of the rioting started, he lived like one street off of kind of one of these downtown commercial / residential type areas.
right.
So he was like, I think one street off of this real, commercial area with, lots of nightlife and lots of things. And when it got bad, his neighbors all of a sudden, they kind of changed their tune and wanted him to protect them because they called the police, and the police, they literally said, you're on your own. We're not coming in to help you. And, they were finding Molotov cocktails stashed in the alleyways behind their houses. And just, people were, it was just a really bad situation.
These are people that are still trying to go throughout their daily lives. I mean, they're still trying to go to work. They're still trying to raise their families. They're taking the trash out. I mean, all that stuff. And when you go take the trash out and you find a stash of Molotov cocktails, you're kind of in a battle zone at that point.
Yeah. It's, sometimes you think, oh, you don't want to overreact.
Right.
But, it was real, it's not going to happen to most people, but there are instances, and, it's just like, I tell everyone my best analogy is having a spare tire in your car. It's not because I want to get a flat tire, but, I've had to use it. I've been driving for over 20 years, and I've had to, use my spare tire once or twice. So it's super uncommon, but I want that to be there in case, I ever need it. So,
and now, it goes a little step further, right? I mean, just because I have a spare tire in my car and I get a flat tire and it's dark and rainy, it's there if I need it. But I also have roadside assistance, and I'm probably going to call them because I don't want to get out and deal with it, but it's there if I have to, right?
Yeah.
We liken that to a firearm. Yep. Just because you have a firearm, you don't want to have to use it, but you want it there in case you do have to use it. But just because you have it and you have it out and maybe you're using it doesn't mean you still don't need to call law enforcement.
Correct.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
That worked out. That analogy worked out perfectly.
Yeah, it's perfect. Yeah.
I mean, it really did. Just because you have a gun doesn't mean you have to use it, but it's there in case you need to, and it can help you out till law enforcement arrives.
Yep. It should be the last resort for sure.
Right. Exactly. So how's ammo looking down in Utah? I don't, floodgates didn't open, but I'm seeing more and more, and I don't know if stores were just saving it for the holidays.
Yeah, I've kind of wondered that too.
But I mean, I've been seeing at some of my local stores, I've been kind of seeing a steady flow of ammo. Now, we're not talking like full shelves here. Yeah, we're talking like
still limits
they may but they may put out like a case, right? Yep. But I mean, I've been seeing them put out like a case a day for like a week and a half.
Yeah,
that's a lot compared to what we saw for many, many months.
Yep.
Are you starting to see that down there?
Yeah, I've been seeing a little bit, not a lot, but you'll go into a few places and there'll be at least a little here and there.
Right.
Still, I don't know if I've seen any 9mm.
See, that's what I'm seeing is 9.
But I'm seeing a little bit more hitting the shelves, but still, there's one store down there that'll get primers, but still not your small rifles, small pistol are pretty hard, but
large. Yeah. So you're getting into reloading. Yeah. That's right. I kind of forgot about that. So what have you built up so far component wise? And do you have the equipment? And you tell us how you're going here.
So it was interesting when I decided, and it's because I'm starting to dabble into precision long range rifle. And so in that game, almost everyone reloads because you
better load that way.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And you find out what your rifle likes. And so you can tweak the load, to make it the most accurate it can be.
Right.
And so I went into a store. They actually I got 2 boxes of small rifle primers, and I didn't even realize
like thousands.
Yeah. 2,000. So 2 1,000 round boxes.
That's enough to get you over that learning curve.
Yeah. Well, and I had no idea.
There will be a learning curve.
Yeah, for sure. And these are like the super high end bench rests, like the really nice ones.
Yeah.
But anyways, I didn't even know how rare that was when I got it. I mean, I knew that components were tight, but I haven't seen them since. So I just came in on the right day. So I've gotten brass, I've gotten some powder, primers, all of that. And then I'm putting together all the equipment. So I got a press and scales and dies and everything. I still need to get a powder measure and a deprimer and a primer. So there's all, when you go down the reloading rabbit hole.
I've got 3 presses, man. You're only looking at 2 of them over here. I get it.
Yeah, there's so many different ways to do it.
What caliber are you looking?
6.5 Creedmoor is what
6.5 Creedmoor.
But I'll probably do 223 for this, for like Tiger's Run and Gun.
Yeah.
For those long shots, it would be nice to have some high quality 223, not just your spray and pray type of ammo.
That's the kind that I do. And like, damn it just came apart. The freaking bullet head pulled out. This is why I don't do rifles.
Yeah.
I spilled so much powder into my freaking rifle. It jams. I pull it out. The bullet head comes. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Well, hopefully I won't have that same experience, but I'm sure you'll have a little bit of everything.
I'm sure you're going to be a little bit better at it than me. I'm not very patient when it comes to that. I'm barely patient enough to reload my 9s.
Yeah. Well, I've already got a sweet spreadsheet going. So
do you?
Yeah.
What?
So I'm tracking everything. So I know exactly what I have. And, so
look at you.
That's right.
You heard the way I reload.
Yeah. I think our approach, well, and I think,
I got all my digits still. That's amazing.
Yeah. Precision rifle though is, they agonize over.
They do. They'll weigh everything.
Yeah. And like, oh, you have to have this certain amount of tension and you have to anneal your brass and all these.
Yeah. You got to weigh. I mean, I know people that weigh everything and they'll sort by head stamp and.
Yep. Exactly.
And you got to get into trimming. You got to find the O-give. You got to, oh man, that we're just getting into like math territory.
Yep.
And I kind of barely passed that.
Yeah, it'll be.
You're a number dude, so.
Yep. I do live in the numbers world, so.
Good for you. I don't.
Yeah, it's all good though.
I just did about a 2009 mil, and I thought maybe I should go ahead and just double check my powder throw to make sure I was still getting the right grade.
Oh, that's good. Yeah,
I was pretty close. I measured 3 times, and I went 0.1 below where I wanted to be. One of them hit right on, the other one was 0.1 over. That's good enough.
Yeah,
we'll call it good.
Yeah, for a lot of the handgun stuff, it will be. I'm sure.
It'll be just fine. If it doesn't, then I'll find a gun that'll shoot it. I don't care.
That's right.
I'll give it to my buddy. You shoot this for me.
See
what you think.
Your ammo tester.
Yeah, I go so light it doesn't matter. I'm not going to hurt myself. Well, yeah. We'll just leave it at that.
Side question: have you ever had any squibs?
No, I have not actually. I have not. I have when I was running my progressive. Now I've punched primers in backwards. You're like, why does it go? The primer's in upside down.
Yeah.
That's not gonna work. Occasionally I'll press them in sideways.
Yeah.
Pretty lucky they don't go off at that point.
Exactly.
But no, I've slowed it way down as to using my progressive now because that thing just pissed me off. I'm on to my turret press and I hand progress.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I do a lot of the steps outside of the press and get everything ready. And the only thing I'm using the press for is to drop the powder and then seat the bullet.
Gotcha.
Seat and size, I guess. But I mean, that's essentially I minimal as possible. I'm making little tiny 9s, man. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. So we got crazy. I'm going to bring something up here. It's about everything that's going on in the world. Okay. And I see it more and more. And, my thoughts are strictly that. These are my thoughts. And I throw this out there because I got different thoughts than a lot of people. And I do feel like we should fight for our country. I do feel like we should fight for our Second Amendment. But I think there's different ways to go about doing it. And I think there's a lot of people that we've had a whole episode before on what we call tactical Larpers. Mm-hmm. Okay. If I don't know. I'm sure I put that in the title somewhere. You can go, I don't know what episode it is because I don't count these episodes. I don't even number them. But you can go back and listen to that. But I spend a lot of time on Facebook because that's just how I run my business. But I see a lot of people going, okay, man, it's going to get ugly. Biden's going to be in. It looks like it's going to get ugly. It's going to be bad. We need to, I understand we need to, civil war is coming. That's what everyone says, right? I think that the civil war is already going on. And I think it started, but it hasn't started with people shooting at each other. It's through social media. It's through this, it's that kind of stuff. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yep.
It's through information and stuff. People are like, okay, as soon as the inauguration comes and Biden is in, where are we going to meet at? Where are we going to meet? Where are we starting this war at? And I'm like, really, dude? So you're going to meet at City Park at like 10 a.m. sharp? Is that what we're doing? Where are you going? People think that they're going to suit up and
no, it's high noon. Haven't you seen the Western?
High noon. There you go. But I mean, I get all these people online. They just go nuts, and or not all, but a lot. And there's like, we got to go. It's like, really, honestly, you're going to leave your families, okay, unprotected, and you're going to run to where you're going to go. Where's the battle line at? Where's the battlefront at? What are you going to? You going to try to take? Make a siege on Washington D.C.? Make a good movie. But I mean, what are you going to do? Is there enough? Do you know who else is going to do this with you? Are you organized?
Yeah.
I mean, I think there's a lot of, how do I say this? I think in the past by a lot of these people, this is gonna hurt. I think in the past by a lot of these people, there's been a lot of Call of Duty played.
Yeah.
I mean, that's rough for me to say. And I believe that it may come down to the time of I'm going to have to defend me and my family, and I understand that, but I'm not going to go out and look for some battlefield somewhere, because then who's going to like protect my kids, right?
Yeah.
I think there's been a lot of fiction novels read. I've read some of those books, right? I've read some of the fictional prepper novels. I mean, you've got I'm trying to think of some of them. One of them was like actually took place in Idaho.
There's a good one that took place in Salt Lake too. The local group that wrote one. It was actually a very interesting book.
And they're entertaining books, right? But there's a lot of like glamorized stuff in there that's not going to happen. And I think that too many people are taking that as that's the way it's going to be. We're going to get in these little groups and we're going to fight. And I'll be honest with you, at one point, I think that I was there as well. Honestly, I think that I'm just responding on Facebook there. That was a deep thought right there. At one point, I was there too. I mean, I think I kind of, I don't say live that life, but that's the mentality. I think I got caught up in that stuff, right? Online forums are a perfect place for that stuff. I got caught up in a lot of that. But I mean, in all actuality, where are people going to go? It's not, in my mind, it's not going down like that. You're not just going to pack up your stuff one day, kiss your wife, you hug your kids and say, see, I'll be back when the war's over.
Yeah.
I mean, you're just not at this point. I mean, am I far off?
No,
I just feel like I'm ranting and I am, but
no, I agree with you. I think some of this gets kind of romanticized by people.
That's the word.
But, and it's the whole thing. You say never. So I, last year went down to Colombia a couple times to do some medical humanitarian work with the refugees that are coming out of Venezuela.
Right.
And so, you think what some of these people say, you're like, well, it's in the US is definitely different than a lot of these other countries, but so you can't say never, because the Venezuela was probably in the top 10 GDP countries per capita in the world.
Got it. Yes.
So, and now there's like no food. People are getting unfortunately killed in the streets because of the government.
There was a guy, and I can't think of his name, and he wrote a bunch of stuff online. I can't. Fairfall, I think is what his name, and he wrote all about that. So no, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Go on. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah. So it's like stuff can happen. I mean, those people, a lot of those people in Venezuela probably thought never in a million years would they be in the situation they are right now. And they're actually fleeing. They have to sneak out of their country just to get away.
Yeah. No, I get that.
So, but I mean, that is a very extreme example. And we will just throw in that they also confiscated their weapons before all this happened. But that's a whole side thing.
Well, once you do that, you can do anything.
Yep, exactly. So, but anyways, I mean, you're looking in the U.S., the chance of that happening is so small. But I think some people they like the idea of like, hey, I get to go protect myself and do all these things. But yeah, I don't see it happening. But I guess if it ever came to it, at least you have the, you have some way
you
to protect yourself. But
right. So how many? So let me go down this. Man, this is going to be great.
Yeah.
So how many people are actually prepared for that. A lot of people can talk. A lot of people can armchair quarterback. Are they physically prepared for it? Have they taken and done more than just a concealed carry permit class?
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of people that talk big. Okay, I've heard them, and I guarantee you they don't fire. Once they leave their concealed carry class, they don't fire their gun for years.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen. I mean, I'm going to fight. I'm going to do this. I'm like, man, I invite you to come run a mile with me, and you turn me down, or you refuse. You know, I mean, you know what I'm saying? I think some of the people that are pushing this are saying they're going to do this. They're not physically ready, whether it be, you know, physically, or they have skills, or they just have a lot of ammo and a lot of guns. I don't know that that's going to get you far.
Yeah. Well, the first time a bullet comes towards you, I mean, I've never been in.
I never have either.
I haven't been in the military. I haven't had experience with that, but I guarantee that your idea on how it all goes is
going to change
really quickly when the bullets are coming towards you, or you know, heaven forbid you have a family member or friend that dies in combat. It becomes a real thing, and it's, you know, I'm with you. It's just like, where's this going to happen? How's it going to play out? I just don't see it happening.
Yeah. And my thoughts are, if something like that happens, at least for me, I love the country, but you know what? My family, my wife, my kids, you know, my grandkids, my kids' spouses, they're all family, and they're the most important thing to me. And I'm frankly, if we're fighting our country, then I'm not going to get drafted. Okay. And so I am going to stay here, and I'm going to protect my family. I'm going to protect what's mine. I'm going to help them get food. I'm going to defend my property and defend my family. I'm going to, you know, I'm not leaving my 15-year-old son to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my mindset. If it goes so south that we have to rise up against our government, I'm going to rise up when it comes to my door.
Yeah.
That's just me.
You need to go watch that movie, The Patriot. With Mel Gibson.
Man, it's been a long time since I've seen that.
Yeah, that's the same things he was saying, man. So
it's been a long time since I've seen that.
But I mean, I'm you know, I have very similar feelings that I think people like to talk,
right?
And you know, it's just anything with the internet. They call them, you know, keyboard warriors.
Yes,
you know, you say a lot of things, but when it comes time to do it, you know, to actually get out and do things, it's a lot of people are like, well, it's hard when I'm not on my couch typing away. So,
and I want to point this out too, though. So if you are one of those people that thinks you're going to go to war or whatever, so be it, right? We all have our thing. Go get prepared.
Yeah.
Go get prepared for it. If you're going to do it, go get prepared for it. Because I mean, I think this whole mentality has been out there a long time, but I think really the most recent thing that's really kicked this off was Virginia. And then there was that crazy dude that was bumming around in his attic. He was drunk. That was a nightmare. And he was talking about the boogaloo, and we actually had people show up.
Yeah, well, that actually does show you, though, there are people that will come. So it's pretty interesting.
There are, but it's really interesting as well, because man, this show's taking turns. So some of the it's interesting because some of the people that like showed up to do that, you know, first of all, they all looked silly after it was all said and done. Okay. But some of the people that are you ready to take, you know, a lot of people are back to blue, do that. I get it. Are you ready to kill a law enforcement officer? A lot of those people a good portion of them that were behind this and that showed up, guess what? They're the same guys that trained. These were instructors. They were the same guys that trained the law enforcement officers that they were going to be fighting.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole thing is just weird. That was a mess anyway, but that's what really got people fired up. I mean, it really did. I think this is dangerous territory, because I think this type of online forum stuff, this tactical LARPing and all this stuff, it's gonna help pump up that one guy that's gonna go and fire the first shot and do something really bad. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because I think there's people, not everyone, but I think there's some people that they live it. They watch a video because you can find tons of videos about this stuff on YouTube. tons of videos. They take it all in. They get themselves pumped up, and the next thing you know, they're going to be the guy that goes and tries to take someone important out.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, I agree.
And it's going to empower them, and then they're going to go and do that, and that could be really bad for the rest of us.
Yeah. No, there's all the conspiracy theories, but sometimes, you're worried that someone who's anti-gun, they're actually hoping for something bad to happen.
Yeah.
Because then that gives them the ability to move in and try to
take our rights.
But they ignore that, guns are used, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of times a year to defend yourself. So
you never hear about that stuff.
Nope, exactly. But yeah, it's kind of a mess. I mean, we were talking about that fact of the media of, you have to be careful because you get on YouTube, you watch something, and then it will just start feeding you the same information over and over again until you actually start to think, oh, this is just what everyone thinks because this is all I see.
Yeah.
And, there's algorithms and there's on Netflix, there's a little documentary called it's like social, I can't remember what it's called, social something.
Yeah.
Talks about social media and how it works
and how they feed you if you watch one little video.
Because every time you click, they make money.
Yeah.
So, so that's what they want. And you have to be careful. I actually, I consume news from I'm definitely more of a conservative leaning person, but I try to keep an open mind. I actually get some of my news from a more liberal source, just so that I'm hearing both sides.
Sure.
And I think it's good. You don't want to just fall down a rabbit hole and then next thing you know, you end up in a place you never thought you'd be.
Right. I mean, I'm more libertarian. I'm more for, let's just get rid of the freaking government. They can protect the country a little bit, and the states can all just divide apart and be their own state. And if you don't like it there, you can go somewhere else.
Yep.
People look at me and shake their heads when I say that. I'm like, it works for me, man.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's just a balance of everything.
And,
and everyone wants something different.
I want full auto and weed.
That's right. That's right.
So, anyhow, we'll quit talking about that now in case I fire up more people.
Yeah, you'll probably get a few comments and a few texts.
I'm sure eventually I will. Yeah. So, thank you for coming on. I do appreciate it. I got the tail end of your Christmas visit.
That's right.
And I want to. You've listened to the last few podcasts where we've had listeners on, right? You came on twice now, but we had Jillian on, and then we had I forget the New York guy from New York.
Oh, I haven't actually heard that one yet.
Oh, well, that one's out.
Okay,
check it out. And so we had the listener from New York on, John, I believe is his name, and kind of a different vibe, a different feel of the podcast with those, don't you think?
Yeah, it's something different for sure.
And I think that I like to do these little sessions here where we talk about guns and stuff. And even a little bit of government stuff. But I want to get out, unless it's directly affecting the Second Amendment. I want to back away from some of this stuff, unless it's just huge news that we have to talk about, because I just get bombarded with that stuff every single day, and I just want to do something I like to do, talk about something I enjoy. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to go ahead and throw this out there. If you are a listener, and I don't care, it doesn't matter if you can't come in person. I've got a little phone here that you can call on, and we can pipe you in just like we did John from New York. And tell us your story. How did you get into firearms? Did you just recently get into firearms? Maybe
one of those 7,000 new gun owners, or
7 million
gun owners. Yeah.
Let me know. Maybe you lived in places like up in Minneapolis, where it was Minneapolis, where the cities were under siege and burning and looting, and maybe talk to us.
Salt Lake City, Provo.
Yeah.
It happened there.
Yeah. I mean, maybe call us and tell us what it was like there. I want to hear your story. It doesn't matter if you don't, maybe you just want to get on the podcast with us and chat. I'm cool with that too. Maybe you want to say that everything that I'm talking about is garbage and trash, and I'm good with that too, because I'm married. I hear that a lot. So you can give me a call. You can shoot me a text, and I'll get you on. We'd like to do it 1, maybe 2 of those a month. You can call me. You can text me, area code 620-794-6223. That's area code 620-794-6223. You can find the podcasts on Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, Anywhere that you can find podcasts, I'm sure you can pull us up. And if you go there and you can't find us, let me know and I will fix it in just a few minutes. I'm sure it won't take me very long. I'm actually getting halfway decent at the podcast game a little bit. Sarah M. Hey, we like your content. Thank you, Sarah. I appreciate it. We try. Sometimes I think we do better than others. Some shows are a little but that's good though. I'm trying to keep it upbeat. Share it with your family, friends. Make sure they subscribe. You can actually take this video off of YouTube here when it's posted, and you can actually share that link on your social media site. That would be awesome. I'm looking at some of the other social media sites, and I don't know yet. I'll figure that out as time comes. If it was that number 5 adapter plate for my VP9, I'd be all over it, right? Just like we talked about earlier. But I'll keep moving forward and trying to get this out to more people. But until then, we will be on. I'll be on. You'll be busy. Good luck on your elk hunt, by the way.
Thank you.
Or your dad's elk hunt, by the way.
That's right. I'm just there to haul it.
That's right. To pack it out. Yep. We got to do stuff like that for our dads, don't we?
Right.
Yeah, I was helping mine. He's not doing well right now. So I was getting firewood the other day. But anyhow, we'll be back on next week. And we will see you then. Bye.